I ever thought about quitting? I will always make, but I have thought about quitting the business side of art. Wouldn't that be great? I think I've been lucky because I had this motivation that I was using art to try to change technology companies, and I was trying to reach tech executives. And so I started giving talks as a way to get to them. And then they started inviting me just straight into their companies. I mean, I've given talks to the top people at Google and all the engineers at Microsoft and the whole teams at Samsung. So it turned out that I actually did get to go talk to those guys. Yeah. I mean, I wanted them to change the way that they saw people's data, and to see it as something they could give back to people. And so because I gave all these talks, I ended up getting a lot of press, which had never occurred to me when I started doing it. I was on this separate mission. And as a result of getting the press, I mean, a lot of like national press and radio shows and things that were like, a lot of stuff comes to me. I don't have to reach out that hard. Lately I figured out it's like what comes to you isn't necessarily all the good stuff. You need to actually hustle a little bit more. So when I say I would stop the business side of it, it would be the outreach. Well, the outreach is just part of, it sounds like your community and the people that you talk to and show the work and engage is just part of your practice.
Maybe. I don't know. What you have said makes me think about it differently, actually.
Well, see, because I look at it as I want to make things, and that exploration of what the future will be like. And some of it is I started putting things on my blog because I literally wanted to timestamp stuff, because the way I see the future, I think is going to happen. And it's like, I don't want somebody else to claim credit for it. I want a date stamp on that stuff.
Yeah.
And so the things that I make are about how it will unfold in the future. And I use the making as a way to, it's more than explore it. It's like my mechanism of processing it.
Oh, prophecy? I was going to say prophecy.
Prophecy, yeah. I could prophesy. Yeah. Hey, I can run up you on the evangelical. I was raised Mormon.
Oh God, you can, yeah.
Oh, we should chat sometime.
Yes.
Yes, I can. I am one for one with you. The making is really important to me. But honestly, any good thing that's ever happened in my art life is as a result of some random email that landed in my inbox from somebody that invited me, would you be interested in blah, blah, blah. Nothing that I ever reach out for ever happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Artists will listen to this and go, really? So, but part of it is you have to somehow, I think if your work stands for something and it has a unique voice and you have something that's specific to you, and somebody can find you online, they will find you. I realized when I came to art that I thought it was the perfect life. Because being an artist, you have the physicality of producing something. You need to make something. Even if you sit at a computer or you make documentaries or you animate, I mean, you still have to make. So I think that was the perfect amount of, you need to make something. And then you need to spend a big chunk of your time researching something. Like what are those ideas about? You need to read things, you need to investigate, you need to do some pretty, for most work, you need to do some pretty hardcore research.
Yeah.
And then the third part is you need to get out in the world and look at art and talk to people. And so when you actually think about how do you spend your time, well, you need, and it kind of propels you forward. I thought, that's the perfect life. Never write another grant application again. Never write another residency application again. It has nothing to actually do with the caliber of the work. Your
Yep.
work, my work, the caliber is actually good.
Yep.
So, so I don't want people to listen to this thinking I'm sort of not valuing my work. No, I know my work is good,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to get on. I'm not going to get on their short list. I might get on their short list after I'm dead.
Yeah. I thought about that. Yeah.
It's random. You like to think that there's sort of a good karma, right? So if, that's when you put things just out into the universe, that it's just good karma, but they're not. There's no direct cause and effect.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm a meaning maker.
Yeah.
I don't think there's this idea that, oh, things have been too good lately, something bad's going to happen, or I've had, a series of, rejections, and so the next one's going to be good. I don't see. It's more like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Every roll of the dice is new. There is an outcome that results from you just being in your network and in your community, and sort of people think of you and you do somebody a favor and then they remember later and do something for somebody that comes back to you. There is a kind of a circularity, right? There's sort of this circular experience of your network. There's this long standing that it's loose ties. It's not the people that you directly know, but the people that are friends of friends that end up helping you the most.
Mm.
And I think there are results that come from that, but I don't think that's meaning making.
Yeah.
That's like a numbers game.
Do you think that you could be like shoved up in the randomizer by like where you're born, who you know?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because it goes back to that community and your ties and loose ties and who tells you about something and an opportunity. I mean, most of the opportunities and things that have happened is because some artist mentioned to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that even goes back to my work life, which I'm hoping we talk about here for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, is when I would, get these big job opportunities, and it usually came as a result of somebody told somebody. And I think that's same in the art world. And so, who you went to school with, who you were colleagues in school, who you met,
Mm-hmm.
who were the other artists in the galleries that you've shown, who, connects, who knows about you, that circle of people makes a big difference.
Yeah.
But you can kind of make those, I mean, you can make those friends. It doesn't, I mean, there is a point where, yes, you were born in a certain place. I mean, I have a crappy background and there's nothing special there. And so there's nothing from that ever helped me in any way. I mean, I'm not unaware. I'm white and grew up working class and, had a work ethic. But beyond that,
Mm.
nobody paid for anything. Nobody paid for college. Nobody paid for anything. Well, you had this question, what would you do if you weren't an artist, or what would you do, if you had another life or and I did. I did. I had a complete other life. And
Yeah.
most people, they have this sort of vague, oh, Laurie had something, she had a job or she had some tech background. And most my people that I know in the art world, and then their eyes go blank. And I've had people ask me, Laurie, you did something in tech. Were you a software programmer? And no, I was an executive in high tech and ran massive billion-dollar divisions of big computer companies.
Yeah.
I went to school in engineering. I didn't actually graduate with a BA in engineering, but I went all the way through. And toward the end, I got very disenchanted with it. I mean, I got to the point where I really hated it and
Mm.
switched my major and then went and got an MBA. And I got the MBA because I worked for a company. I worked for an oil company in downtown Los Angeles, and all of the executives that worked there all went to USC. And so they were then happy to pay for my going to USC.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, I got the company that I worked for to pay for my MBA. There's you finagle. But then I went to work for Hewlett Packard, which at the time, this is in the 80s, this was like Google would be now. It would be the best tech company that you could go to work for.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a product manager for um, risk architecture, new chipset that was going in. It was the new hardware architecture that was going into a new line of computers for Hewlett Packard. The company had spent over $1 billion on the investment for this new chip architecture, and I was the product manager.
I'm not surprised.
Because people then ask, like, why did you quit? Because I quit in my 40s, but
Yeah.
I made a plan in my 30s that I could only last another 10 years. I thought, this is an unsustainable life. I'm going to make enough money to live for the rest of my life in the next 10 years. I need to put my foot on the gas, and um, I can jump off this thing in 10 years. It was sort of, you ever talked yourself into something? It's like, I can do this, but I think I can only do this for 10 more years. So I made this 10-year plan to quit and made decisions very, distinctly for how am I going to quit. And during that time, I both made a lot of money, but also we lived on about a third of our income
Mm.
and banked it. And still to this day, we live on a much smaller footprint than what's there.
During that time, did you have a moment like growing up or in college in engineering that you were like, I really should go to the art department? Or was
I
that
did
never?
actually. No, that's absolutely true. I was a ceramicist. I made ceramics, and when I was in UC Santa Barbara, I remember I went to the counselor and said, um, "I think I'm going to switch my major." And in order to even take an art class, you had to be in the art department. So I actually did switch my major, and so I could actually get into an art class. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he looks at me and goes, you can see he was just going to talk me out of it. And um, and so I stuck with it. But my mother had gone to art school.
Mm.
My two sisters had gone to art school. But they never actually did. I mean, they never became artists. One sister switched and became a designer, and she ran an ad agency, and my other sister then taught. But they were the truth is they were pretty good,
Yeah.
but they never figured out how to step into the world of now I'm an artist. Never
Mm-hmm.
did it. But when I quit my job, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be an artist. I didn't think that there was a way in middle age to go be an artist. I actually didn't think there was any chance. I mean, I didn't even think it was possible.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to run like a small ceramics business with artisanal ceramics. And
You kind of are.
yeah, I know. But
You
I
know,
actually thought it would be a business, like
it's
an
different.
actual,
Yeah.
I thought it would, yes, I did that. It would
That
be a
little,
small business. But then I started taking art classes, and people gave me advice, and I started applying for things. And I went to the New York Studio School, has a marathon program, which is you go for 2 weeks. And I
yeah.
realized, and I had set up I went to New York for the summer to go take a bunch of classes and be in New York and not be in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was like, poof, this is completely learnable.
Yeah.
A big part of art making is skill based. And you need to have something to say. It's like, who are you, and do you have something to say, and do you have skills? But those are separate
Mm-hmm.
problems.
Mm-hmm.
It really works if you have something to say and you have skills. Some people just have
Yeah.
skills and nothing to say. Some people have something to say, but they don't have any skills.
Yeah.
It helps if you have both. And I was like, oh my God, you can go do this. And so I pursued it with great vigor. Well, and
Yeah.
then there was at the beginning, so I'm like now in my 50s, and I thought I've got to get to the point where I catch up with my age.